right, everybody, welcome back to the legendary interview section. It is on and popping. I got my long-term friend here. Man, we knew each other since elementary school. But before we begin, welcome to the stage of history. I am your illustrious host, Kevin Uncanny Anytime. And as I was saying before, got the legendary man here, James, Mr. MJ Smooth, what we used to say in the back of the day. You're a producer now, and he's a producer for and then go ahead and introduce yourself again.
Yeah, but before we start, when you said elementary, I just started doing the math in my head, and that's 33 years ago or something like that.
Yes,
So
man.
you started this off with oh, I guess I am getting old.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know there's probably people don't think 37 is that old, but well, I will be 37. But anyway, my name is James Stewart. I'm a producer with Valley Sports Wisconsin, so I cover the Bucks, Milwaukee Bucks, and the Milwaukee Brewers. I do the pre and post game shows, and then come playoff time, I do some shooting on the court, some or on the field with a reporter and whatnot. So largely just kind of float around and do whatever is needed to be done. But my main job is the pre and post game shows.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so it's fun working in sports. I mean, I never would have guessed this is where I'd end up, but yeah, I'm happy I'm here.
Yeah, okay, and so let's talk about that a little bit. So how did you get into the video game? What made you start? Well, not the video game, but like video work and doing that stuff. How did you end up initially getting into that?
Well, what people may or may not know about you is, we met at the German immersion school. So once it was time to go to college, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I had all this German language, classes and whatnot. And when I got to high school, I did German again because it was easy. And I did a couple AP classes and whatnot. So once college came, I had a bunch of German credits that I was able to test out of. So I didn't have to take those classes anymore. So that's what I went to school for, was to be, German and business major.
Oh,
but
wow.
If you know anything about me, I have a very short attention span, and that just didn't work. So after a couple of years of trying to do that, and once I was done with sports, because I also did track and football, and once I realized those dreams were over, I partied, and then kind of just wound up falling backwards into a TV program here in Milwaukee at MATC. And once I went through that, it was like my eyes were open. I was like, oh, okay, this is exactly what I want to do. And it was my way back into sports. I couldn't play anymore, but I could get as close to them as basically I could get, and end up covering baseball and basketball. I don't cover football, unfortunately, but I kind of actually like that, because when you cover like baseball and basketball, it's every day, and it really is a grind. So when it comes to football season, Sundays, like, I can just put my feet up and actually enjoy and watch and not care and be a real fan. Like, now that I'm, working TV and cover these teams, I can't like turn that off, because as a producer, I'm always looking, what can I put in my next show? So the gears never stop spinning when I'm watching anything, ESPN, Fox Sports, or whatever, any of the YouTube. Anytime I'm watching sports, like, my brain is always looking, okay, can I use that? Can I use that? Oh, that was a nice way that they presented that information, trying to incorporate that. But for football, I can actually just turn it off and enjoy it.
That's good, man. Yeah.
Which I didn't see coming. You think, and don't get me wrong, it is fun. Like, I love being around these players and around the sport. But it just, when you work in video, when you watch anything, your brain's like, oh, I saw that. And like, everybody else can just enjoy it. But you see that little thing and you're like, I know that made him mad. I know I couldn't do anything about it though, so we had to leave it in there. I know it. Like, and that's how it is watching like sports TV for me. Like, it's just everything. I see it and I'm like, that was amazing. Or I know somebody's mad about that.
Yeah. That's funny, man. Yeah. You know what? And let's talk about the because not too long ago, you just did you was it you personally, or was it like the show that you just won an Emmy or something like that, right?
Yeah. I think I don't, the pandemic has got my years all messed up.
Oh, right.
Because just for like for me, when basketball stopped and took that break and then started up, it was like everything was pushed back. So now, like that, I mean, my brain works on the seasons, not really the calendar anymore. Like I know where I
Gotcha.
am based on, oh, okay, there's 40 games left in the season. Like,
Right, right.
but yeah, anyway, so I won an Emmy for a show that I produced called I can't remember it. But anyway, it was the Mike Budenholzer's show. Our coach for the Bucks. We did like a sit down with him, and me and a bunch of other people, worked together and got this show done, and we were really proud of it. So when we won an Emmy, it was it was pretty cool because I had it was actually my third Emmy, but the
Nice.
other two I kind of felt like I was more in the group as opposed to
Got you.
like this one I did the majority of the work on.
Got
So it was
you.
like this was the one I felt like, okay, I feel like now I love the other two. I respect the other two. Don't get me wrong, but
Right.
it's just that one that you're like, okay, that's the one. That's the one that I
Yeah.
wanted,
Yeah.
and I got it. So, or we got it. So it was pretty cool. And then we went to the Emmy ceremony. I had to give a speech that I was not at all prepared for. Like I have no idea what I said. I
Yeah.
completely went up there and just like thanked. I hope I thanked everybody. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember it because I wasn't expecting it. It's like I had went to it thinking I have a really good chance of winning, hoping I had winning or hoping I would win. And when I won, it was like those are kind of like you set that positive energy out, but sometimes you don't really expect that to happen. You just put it
Right.
out there, like put it
Yeah.
out there because why not? And then when
Yeah.
it does happen, you're just like confused by it.
Yeah.
Like I've always wondered, and obviously this is a much grander stage, but when actors go up there and they don't give a great speech, and you're like, you didn't like rehearse, and I got up there in that moment was like, I didn't rehearse. I,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know what happened, but it was fun. So yeah, that's my third one. Um, and we just submitted a bunch of stuff for Emmys. So hopefully this year I can take home another one.
yeah. That would be what's up, dude. So that's yeah, man, that's freaking legendary stuff, dude. That's what I'm talking about. As far as like the work life balance, right?
Yeah,
That's kind of mainly what I wanted to get into to show most of you guys watching, because I know you guys see me do a lot of videos and stuff like that. I probably may not have as much as you guys do, but as far as just what that process looks like and all the editing and stuff like that,
yeah,
the amount of time that we put into this stuff, just kind of go over a little bit of how much time you have to spend at work, and then how that kind of plays a role in your life as far as like with your family and everything.
yeah. For me, I always tell people that like because I am fully aware that like I have an interesting job, So whenever I meet people or yeah, whenever I meet people, an easy thing for me and for them to talk about is my job because I work in sports. So anytime especially like with a guy, you just talk about sports. It's easy, easy enough.
Yeah.
But I always tell people that like you really gotta if you want to get into this business, you really gotta understand the time commitment that you are making, which I definitely, excuse me, I definitely did not understand getting into it because when I started, I was just an editor and video shooter, and we'd have 4-hour shifts, 5-hour shifts, whatever. But once I started like producing and saw like the entire full picture of it, because then like as the producer, you're kind of in charge of all of that.
Mm,
So as like everyone else kind of comes and goes, like I'm there the whole day. Like
right.
I usually leave my house around 8, 9, somewhere in that area in the morning, and then I get home for a baseball game usually the earliest I get home is 11. It's most of the time it's after that,
Yeah.
11 p.m. But for basketball, and this is why I love basketball, because there is a clock, and when the clock is over, the game
Yeah.
is like baseball is. I feel like the Brewers play all 4-hour games, man. I don't know. They probably don't, but it
Dude.
feels like it
Yeah.
because when you have one of those
Baseball
games,
games do be long,
man,
man. They
we had we had one the other day that was like 12. I want to say 11 or 12 innings, but it was 4 plus, and then we had a day game the next day. So it was like,
Wow.
and this is kind of where I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, um, the time commitment. So yeah, so it's anywhere from at the earliest 8, at the latest midnight 1. So it is a full day, and I like for that I got to give all of the credit to my wife because we have 2 kids, and they they're with her all day. Like
Yeah.
that's a long day, and every once in a while, like I'll have an off day and be like, hey, you got to go do something, go be with friends or whatever. I'll take care of it today. That one day, I'm just like, you need to come home.
Yeah.
Maybe they listen better to you or something. I don't know.
Right.
But, but it's a grind to be with the kids all day, and like I have so much appreciation for her to kind of support me and allow me to do that because now with both teams that I cover, Brewers and Bucks, being playoff teams, there's no gap. So basketball season runs right into baseball season runs right back into basketball season. And it used to be like when I started my first year producing, the Bucks won 15 games, so they clearly were not a playoff team. So I had like a whole month to like, do stuff around the office and stuff, but I was home every day for a month. And then you get back into it and it's like culture shock almost because the
Yeah.
kids they don't have that long-term memory, right? They're like, well, you've been here for like 5 days, what do you mean you're leaving? Like,
Right.
you
Right.
leave what? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is just a lull. And then like the pandemic too, like because sports stopped during the pandemic,
Right.
so I was
Right.
home all the time for like a
Yeah.
year. So when sports started up again, I had to go through that again with my kids specifically because they were just like they forgot what I do. They're
Right.
at the time were 4 and 2, so that dad's just around all the time now,
Yeah.
which was cool. It was, I mean, yeah, I get the pandemic was bad for a lot of people, but
Right.
like for me, that was one of the things that I got to benefit from was to actually be around. And luckily, again, I understand that the pandemic was bad for financially for a lot of people and all that stuff, and I don't take that lightly. But like for me, that time period was actually time that I got to refocus back on my family
Yeah.
and kind of see where my priorities need to be and where my time management needed to be because it wasn't where it needed to be. I was here every day, every moment, like, and once I kind of saw that break, I feel like since then I've thought about that a lot more on how to better manage that
Got
because you always, especially like as a dad, you always say like I'm gonna be a great dad and I'm gonna be around and all this stuff. But one thing that I have noticed as a dad is how easy it is to say those things, how easy it is to mean those things, but also how easy it is to neglect the fact that you're not doing it in the moment
right.
because
Right.
you just focus
Oh,
on like, okay, I got to get the money, got to take care of this, take care of that, and you think that, well, my help to the family or my show of love to the family is that I'm doing all the stuff.
right.
Like you got new shoes because I'm doing this, but it's like they don't care about the new shoes. One,
Right.
I'm sure, but like that's not what's important. Like
Yeah.
so once I had that chance to see it, it was like, oh, okay, I gotta figure this out. I gotta figure out how to better manage my time. And I feel like I have. I'd have to ask my wife. She might she might disagree, but I feel like I've helped it or I've changed it a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. People, this was one of the things that I wanted to kind of hone in on, y'all, with the way that this type of lifestyle goes when
Yeah.
you are really trying to hit it hard for your family, but then balancing, like, because it's like I always go back into me when I was a kid, like, okay, well, what did I want? And it's like you did just want just that person to be
Yeah.
there,
You just wanted
right?
time.
That's It's just time, man, because it's like they know, like they have the whole
Hmm.
thing figured out. They're just like, no, time is the most valuable thing. Give me that and
Yeah,
I'm
because
good.
kids are now. They deal in now. Am I happy right this second? They're not worried about what might be happy later. Like,
Right, right. So um this is just something that I'm also trying to get better at myself.
yeah,
Even though I'm in the space a lot, but still, it's like, being in the space and being non-existent because I'm
yeah,
editing all day is a different thing too.
yeah,
Yeah, sometimes I always try to be like, well, I'm doing better than what I had, and I kind of explained to my son that process that I went through as far as just
yeah,
not having somebody available for a while. But again, I'm trying to be better as a person myself. Not There's no excuse or no comparison. It's like just try to do the best you can with what you have in your current space. And so that's what I've been doing, just trying to make sure that I give him the time. Lately, dude, I got this idea from his mom. She was like, dude, just set a timer, because sometimes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that time is like
yeah.
way more to kids. It's like at
Right,
least it's that dedicated focus. And so that really helped to change my mindset on it, because sometimes I do that and he's satisfied. He's like, oh, okay, cool, we got to spend time together. It's like 15 minutes, I set
right.
the timer goes off, and he's like, oh, okay, cool. Um but yeah, this is a difficult, it's always a juggle. It's always a
Yeah.
juggle, man. And so with that, with like the juggling of things, what have you, like, what do you try and do, man? What are some of the things that you try and do to balance it out?
Well, my son just recently got into video games, which I mean that for me that makes it easy because I like to play video games.
Yes,
And like
yeah.
so he's really into Marvel and all of the Spider-Man, all that. Like the kid he would wear a spider suit every day if we let him. Like,
That's what's up.
like you can wear it every day around the house, but like you got to go to school. Like you got
Yeah, that's what's up,
if
man.
you're ever in like the Milwaukee area and you catch a kid out there in a Spider-Man suit, that's probably my kid. Like he loves it, and I love it too. So he hasn't seen any of the movies yet because obviously he's not old enough. But like we watch a lot of the cartoons, and then we play a couple of the video games. And then like with my daughter, she loves art and dancing and all that stuff. So just randomly put a song on and dance for a song or whatever.
Yeah,
And it never feels like it's enough, even for me. Like it's always balancing what I want to do and what I have enough energy to do.
yeah. Oh
You
man. Oh, the
know,
energy, dude. That's a whole other conversation, right? Man.
because
Oh
it's
man.
like sometimes I just want to be like I'm too tired to do this. Like it's just I need 10 minutes or whatever. Especially like when I get home from work, I just want to sit down for like 10 minutes. But
Right.
like when I get home from work, they got 2 hours before bedtime. So
Yeah.
they're like, no, you got to keep going. Like, I need you now.
Right.
If I let you sit down, you might fall asleep,
Right.
and then you can
Yeah,
go to bed. Like,
knocked out, dude.
right. So, I mean, it's just I try to find those little moments, and my wife does uh, a a very good, a frustratingly good job of reminding me when I'm not, given
Right.
enough time, or when I'm get caught on my phone for 10 minutes, or whatever. It
Yeah.
just it's just we are on these things, especially that I work in front of TVs all day.
Yeah.
So like if anyone's addicted to media, I'm addicted to media.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like it's just I'm always watching something.
Yeah.
So I do need that reminder. And no matter how annoyed I feel about it, I'm aware that I need it to just say,
Yeah.
put your phone down. Hey, can you take them outside? Can you take them for a walk? Can you take them for a ride? Yeah. Yep. Even if I don't want to do it, I know that I have to do it because those are I know my own tendencies and I know my weaknesses I will get locked in and I will watch
Yeah.
TV the rest of the night if I'm allowed to.
Dude, that I mean, man, dude, you is man. I'll TikTok it up. I'll be
Hey,
what
that's what,
an
dude,
hour?
TikTok is. I
What
got a
just
love hate.
happened?
I have a love hate relationship with TikTok because sometimes it's like, oh, that's so funny, and then next thing you know, you look up and you're like, your phone is hot and you've been on it for an hour. Come on, man. I can't help it though.
The phone is hot. Oh man, yeah. It's definitely a man. It's a challenge, man. It is.
They know
Especially
what they're doing, man.
they do, man. They do, man. They like let's siphon all of that attention.
Right. And
It's
the challenging part is like, as someone that like works in media and that like actively creates things for others' enjoyment.
yep. And
I
you
like I
want new
know how to play
ideas.
on heartstrings. I know how to make
Yeah.
how to have a funny moment.
Yeah.
It's like I know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I like I see it and I'm still falling for it. Like
Right. Right.
every once in a while you'll have one of those creators that will just say like, "It's time to get off your phone," and you're like, "You're right, you're right. Thank you." It's annoying that you make
It's
content like that, but
yeah.
like, thank you. Like you're right. Put it down. Every
Yeah.
time I see one of those, it's like it angers me, and also I just want to like, all right, give them a like.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude. Get out of here. Like, because
Yeah.
it really is addicting, man, and you can fall into it.
Yeah. And like you said, man, with cuz and I don't I forgot if that was like if we were still talking behind the scenes or not, but when you're looking for new ideas,
Yeah,
like that's what other you know what I mean? There's really
exactly.
no other way to
Because it's
do
like,
it, man.
and it's also like when like you work in video or you work in creative things, like your mind is always in the back of your mind or actively thinking about how you can use everything. How any information is displayed, I see that and I think, oh, I like that. No matter what the information is, it doesn't have to be sports information. It could
Right.
be political information. Oh, I like the way they blocked it out. I like the way that the information is displayed. I can use that. So TikTok is like, or TikTok or Instagram or any of these reels, it's like there's a lot of creative people on there. And some of them are only 10, 15 seconds, right? So it's like, oh, mass coming in, like so much flooding in that I'm like, oh, I can use this, I can use this, I can use this. And you get into that zone. It's definitely not healthy, but but it's also helpful sometimes.
Right,
Because I
dude.
mean, at this point, there's very few that hasn't been done. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the TV is not a new medium anymore.
Right.
The internet's not new. There's no. I mean, not to say that there's no new jokes, but like there's considerably less new jokes than there used to be.
Right. Right.
So or new tricks or whatever. So you're always kind of looking to see how you can see something, grow on it, expand upon it, change it, and make it your own. And to do that, you have to be paying attention a lot.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, it's a double-edged sword, man.
Yeah,
It's what we signed up for, too. Is the balance of just that alone, too, is a whole different beast, man.
yeah,
It's just being like, okay, I need to, let me break off of it. Okay, let me be on it. Let me study it, but yeah, man. But yeah, no, just one other thing as far as the two kids you got, you
yeah,
got a daughter, beautiful son. um is there any dynamics that you've seen as far as like their interaction or anything, man? Like cool's like, I don't know what's up with Cool, man.
yeah,
He's a very loving person, and he kisses Cupcake like
yeah.
just a ridiculous amount, and I'm like, dude, do I have to slap you to go? He's like doing something. He's like, I gotta kiss Cupcake. He's doing something. He's like, I gotta kiss her. I'm like, dude, you just kissed her like 5 times.
He loves her, man. Now
Yeah, that's good, right?
yeah. I mean, my kids are funny. My wife always says, and obviously I'm James Stewart. My son is James Stewart the third. So, um, he's he is so much like me that it's scary sometimes because
Mm,
it's like he'll be doing something, and I'm like, I know exactly what you're doing. Stop. Like,
Yeah.
I know where this is. You're just taking it step by step, but
Oh,
I see
yeah.
you on step one. So because these are the things that I did. These are the ways that I annoyed my sister. These are, you know what I mean? This is the way that like I used to try to slick talk back, but not get in trouble for it. Like,
Right.
so it's like
Right.
it's real funny, and he's uh he's just now kind of getting into sports, and you know, like I said, he's huge into Marvel. So that's a real big like bonding point for us as superheroes and comics and stuff. And he is he wants all these comics, so I'm going back and reading old comics because you know he and I'm letting him have full. You pick them out. You read what you want to do. I don't want to come to you and say this is the best one. This is the best one. You know, I
Right.
know that you're into it, so I don't feel like I have to coax you into liking certain characters.
Yeah.
And he is like eyes open on any of it. Like any
Wow.
comic you put in front of him, he well he can't read yet, so which means I'm reading it or my
Yeah.
wife is reading it, but he is all in, and he's got like um, this is the one thing that is different from me, and this is from my wife because my wife loves to read, and she's always making fun of me for not reading
Okay.
because I work in TV, so I watch everything.
Right.
I can't. Well, I shouldn't say that.
Right.
I can learn from a book. I should learn from books, but
Yeah.
for
Visual learner,
me,
man.
yeah, I'm a
I'm
visual
right
learner.
with you now.
I'm a
I'm
visual
right with
learner. I just like I don't. I can't sit still in silence that long.
yeah.
But so he's got like these audio books, and he just
Oh,
loves listening to audio books.
wow,
And I'm like
really?
that. See that I might actually be able to do because then
Oh,
he'll just like walk around the house. He'll play with his toys. You know, do whatever. He can actually still be active, and he's listening to audiobooks. And it's
wow.
crazy to me, but that's the new thing, I guess. Um,
Oh, dude's gonna be
he
freaking
loves it.
brilliant. Bro, dude is gonna be
If I could
wow.
read and also move, well,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, that's all. Dude, that is wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm about streamlining information. Like I want to get my information and get out. But
Yeah.
most of these places they get you there and make you wait for that information. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I gotta watch it. Gotta know it. But the interaction between my daughter and him is funny because my daughter is now like getting to the point where she doesn't necessarily like idolize him anymore. You
Oh,
know,
got
she still loves him and they have fun and they play, but she's at the point where she's ready to let you know I'm not doing this. I don't
you.
want to
Yeah.
do this. Like,
Okay. That's what's up.
and like the attitude is starting to come out, which is just hilarious. And I probably don't handle it great because it makes me laugh every time. Like her whole face changes, her demeanor changes, and it's just like she went from this cute little princess to like, hey, you're gonna listen to me now. And I'm
Oh,
like, whoa,
wow.
you're four, calm down. But
Dang.
it's so funny to see them both because um, me and my sister, I have a younger sister, we're 6 years apart. So
Okay.
like there was very few stages in our lives where we saw things eye to eye.
Right.
Because we, you
Right.
know, we were never in grade school together. We were never in middle school together. We were never in high school together. So she was
Yeah.
always like, you know, 6 years younger than me, obviously.
Yeah.
And once she got older, obviously, then it was like, okay, now I can like, I don't see you as this younger person anymore.
Mm-hmm.
See you as
Yeah.
like my sister, my, you know, the 6 year gap doesn't seem as big anymore.
Right. Right.
But for them, they're only 2 years apart. So
Uh,
they're like, every time they do pretty much everything together,
God.
especially pandemic. We couldn't go anywhere. So they had
Right.
to play with each other.
Yeah.
And that, like, I feel like for them, and obviously there's other effects of the pandemic, but for them, like they were forced to play with each other every single day. And
Right.
that's where I saw like they have a really good relationship and a real tight relationship where they I mean, my daughter is probably more of the protector of those two. Like
Got you.
she she does not let anything slide. When something's going wrong, if they're at the park and someone's being mean to Jay, she is not. she's either coming to tell us or she's doing something about it.
Oh, what nice.
It's really funny and it's awesome to see because like I said, I didn't necessarily have like that type of relationship just because our difference, or like our age difference.
Yeah.
But they like all the same shows. They watch all the same stuff. She got a ghost spider costume for her birthday because she wants to go to Comic-Con with Jay and they can be
Oh,
Miles and Ghost Spider.
oh, that's
So,
tight.
and that I think that's coming up at the end of September here. I'm sure it's a small one, but they'll love it.
Yeah. Dang. Okay. That's what's up, man. Yeah, because Cool's 5 and Cupcake's 10 months. So this, because me and my brother were 6 years apart. So
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's just
it's
that.
not like you don't like them. It's just like when you were 12, did you want to hang out with a 6-year-old?
Right.
No, of course not. Like I'm out
Right.
riding my bike around the neighborhood and you can't leave the driveway. I'm not trying to hang out
Right.
with you. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like that age gap was too big. But
Yeah.
that was just us. You never know. Like obviously he's like you said, cool, loves like running over and kissing her. So he's looking at it differently. Maybe I was just like, I'm not an only child no more.
Right. Right.
Maybe I was jealous. I don't know. Maybe
He
it's
shows
on me.
signs of that
Yeah.
sometimes, I promise. He do. He be like, y'all giving her too much attention, man. You
Right?
gotta calm down.
Hey, I had 5 years of pure love. What's going on?
Right. Where'd it go? Man. Well, lastly, man, just with this type of work, or if anybody is looking into this type of
Yeah.
stuff, what do you think? What kind of advice would you give them, man, as far as this work-life balance and stuff like that, based off of your experience?
I mean, for me, the advice that I would give is, and this doesn't necessarily have to be for TV. This is just life. Like, figure out what you like and
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
I never want to. I'm not going to be a millionaire. I'm cool with that. I'm done with that portion of my life. Now, at this point, I just want to enjoy what I do, enjoy my time with my family, enjoy, my off time, whatever. So I always tell people just to figure out what you want to do, because to get to generally any field, right, to get to the top of it means you're going to be doing the grunt work for a bit.
Yeah.
And luckily, I started before I had kids and really kind of got to see as it was coming. So that by the time I had kids, I was able to say, okay, I'm happy where I am right now, but I don't want to do that yet. Or I don't want to necessarily keep climbing yet, because I know what happens when I keep climbing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I do pre and post games. So as of right now, generally I only do home games, which means
Gotcha.
when the team is on the road, I have time with my family.
Yeah.
If I were to produce actual games, which would be the next step, and I do hope to do that, but the first kind of time that I thought this step is possible was when my son was born, like around the same time. And I really had to take that into account of like, if you do games, you travel. I still do a
Right.
little bit of travel, but not nearly as much as a game producer.
Right.
You're jumping from city to city to city.
Yeah.
You're only home when they're home. And that I think is a whole nother step, because for me, my son was, just born, and then 2 years later my daughter was born. So for that, like for 4 years, like I pretty much not 4 years, but for about 2.5 years, I always had a baby in the house.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like a baby slash toddler, whatever. And that's the hardest time to
Yeah.
be
Oh,
with.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, if I went away any more than I did, I don't know what my wife would need me for. Like,
Right.
like what are you doing? I'm
Right.
doing everything. So it's just you just gotta realize what you want to do, that fits in your life. Or if you're not worried about, if you're only worried about the top, then only worry about getting to the top. But
Right.
for me, at the time that I started to kind of accelerate, I was having kids, and my family and that's always been something that I wanted to do. So you
Mm.
have to take those things into account, because it's easy, like I said earlier, it's easy to just get in that tunnel vision and not realize who you're leaving behind.
Right. Right. Yeah, man.
So, so long story short, figure out what you want to do and do that. I know it sounds simple and cliche or whatever, but if you're gonna put this much time into something, I know people, I know and have known people that hated their jobs for 50 years. I don't want
Right.
to do that.
No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Like,
No.
I understand that whenever I retire, that's my time to be free or whatever. But I like to have a little bit of fun along the way too. Like,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
only, as far as I know, I'm only getting one shot at this.
Right.
So
Right.
I got to
Yeah.
try to enjoy it along the way too, not just catch 20 good years at the end.
Yeah. I'm with that, dude. I'm totally with that, man. Yeah. Cause man. Yeah, that's yeah. You gotta have fun along the way, man. It's for a hot second, man. I think I had that mentality where I was like, no, it's gotta be grind, grind, grind. It's like, man, you'll burn your life
Yeah.
away, dude. Like your whole life will be
And those people
burnt.
aren't fun to be around either. Cause I've
Right.
been that dude. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
you're not, who wants to be around somebody that every time that you're around, you're tired? Every time that you're around, it's not like, yeah, I don't want to go to the park because I'm just too tired. That,
Right.
that's, that's the unfortunate truth is that the kid, especially when you're saying it to kids, they aren't able to say, oh, well, he worked all day. That's why he's tired. What they're
Right.
able to say is, we're going to the park and dad's not coming again.
Yeah. Right. That's all they know. That's all they understand.
Like
Yeah.
that's all, that's their viewpoint of it. So like I try to remember that, and I've definitely forced myself to a few parks. But it's
Yeah.
like when you get there too, though, you realize I should have been doing this anyway.
Yeah.
Like we went on a bike ride the other day. My wife bought one of those tag alongs for a bike so that my daughter didn't have to pedal. She could basically just sit on it because she's
Oh,
not big enough for a two wheeler yet. So she's
gotcha.
basically just riding along on this tandem bike.
Yeah.
And my son is now finally big enough that we can go on like we went on like a 9 mile bike ride the other
Wow.
day, and like
Wow.
those are the things that like it sounds like a lot of when I don't want to ride a bike 9 miles. I don't want to do anything for 9 miles, right? I don't want to walk 9 miles. If there's a way that I don't have to drive 9 miles, let me do that too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but anyway, so we went on this bike ride, and it's like you get out there and you see like the tiny little moments, the tiny little smiles, the tiny little like giggles. That like those are the things that you're missing when you say you're too tired and you stay
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
And they may not be like, it's not like you're a bad father or whatever, you're neglectful, but those are the things that like those are the core memories that they make.
Yup. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it might seem insignificant to you, but he's been talking about bike rides ever since. So
Right.
clearly it meant something. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. That's freaking legendary stuff, dog. I man, thank you for this, dude. That was
Cool.
good. That's the truth right there, dude. Is really understanding the concept of their living existence and the core memories that they build in, dude. Because for him to be, yup, he was like he gonna be talking about that when he
Yeah.
get older. Me and my pops, bro, and that's what it's about, man. That's that heart grabbing stuff right there. You
Right.
talk about it, you get
Right.
emotional. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's up, man. So that's what's up, dude.
And
But
it's like, when you watch a movie and you see those little heartwarming parts, right? The crazy thing is that like you see all those little moments in your own life. There's just not a
right,
musical selection behind it that's making you
right,
cry. You know what I mean? Like those
yeah,
moments are happening. They're just
yeah,
not pointed out, and there's not beautiful symphonies behind it, and you know what I mean? Like that they're obviously eliciting motion out, but like when you look back at those memories, like I see pictures all the time that bring back the moment, and you're just like, you're there for a brief moment. You remember everything about that. Like, you remember what he was wearing. You remember what made him laugh. You remember that little joke that he told, or the joke that he told that didn't make any sense, but he thought was hilarious. Like, it's like that. That's the stuff that matters, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree, man. Well, that's what's up, dude. Thanks again, y'all. I hope y'all gained something
Thanks
from
for
this.
having me on.
This was, yeah, this was good, man. This is because I definitely I know I talk a lot of mindset and stuff like that, but I always wanted to incorporate some family. So I know people have kids out there. I got kids, obviously, so I'm trying to incorporate a lot more family oriented information. So thank you for this, man. I really appreciate it, dude. And thank you for your time, man, for being
Yeah,
available
anytime, man.
at this time to
Anytime.
do it. So yeah, y'all, do the whole deal, like, subscribe, all of this, and keep tuning in, man. I'm gonna do my best to get these good interviews so y'all can have some great legendary information. But outside of that, we will see y'all again next time.